The Esports World Cup 2026 is in full swing. Quarterfinals. And this is exactly the moment when the true daddy of chess storms into the fight. The reigning champion, holding this cup since 2025. In this battle, Magnus proved he's still the chess boss. He pushes e4 against Nihal Sarin. Nihal responds, c5 the Sicilian Defense. Everyone's favorite d4 cxd4. And in true Tal style, Magnus develops his pieces. Next, in Tal's spirit, he'll throw in a beautiful sacrifice. That's just a little spoiler for you. Knights are developed. All theory here. We won't dwell too long on these Petrosian-style subtleties. a4 to prevent a5s. And of course, you just go kingside. Magnus is already preparing. Active play in the center. And Nihal is carefully looking to drop his knight on c5. He hasn't quite decided yet, but most likely he'll castle queenside. Magnus, however, has the option to push g4, h4, g5. Go forward and absolutely smash his Indian opponent. He castles here. You could try to pin this knight a bit. If you play queen to c5 now, bishop to a3, nothing scary. Just step back. Carefully, Nihal Sarin plays his bishop to e7, preparing queenside castling. Actually kingside castling. And you get your like button ready. Hit like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. While you're thinking, Magnus puts his bishop on d2. Bishop to b7. Everything is going well in the game. Sarin castles. And b4 Carlsen grabs space. What do we have? Position is equal. Half a pawn advantage for white, 0.5. Actually 0.00, tenths, 0.00. Slight edge due to a nicer center. And extra space on the queen side. But it won't be extra for long. Next, we have some interesting engine lines. The king prophylactically goes to h1. Bishop to f8. Black is a bit cramped here. I'd call it a mild out. But now Magnus will happily push all these pieces aside. And here comes the first blunder, f3. It would have been better to start pushing the f-pawn with f5 immediately. And if now e5, knight to e6. There's a sacrifice of this knight. If you take this knight here, the pawn goes, and the knight has to retreat here. And then with a positional move f3, there's a threat to take the pawn and a threat to take the knight. You have to bring the queen over, but then the knight jumps to d5. And if you take with the knight takes with the pawn, the bishop also opens up. And if you take here, then simply f6 with a mate in one threat. No defense against the mate, but no matters. That'll come a bit later. Carlsen still allows this mistake. Again, a mistake from the computer's perspective. Actually, Carlsen plays knight to h5 before the final sacrificial attack, h4. Knight back. Back and forth. The f-pawn starts moving, f5. And after the move e5, Magnus finds, with 5 minutes on the clock, he finds the best positional move. In this position. By the way, you can also look at the board. Think about it. Here's a puzzle for you. Where to put this knight? If you found the move, well done. Hit like on this video. Subscribe. Definitely. And the move is knight to e6. A diamond on the board. Attention. It turns out you have to take this knight. Because it's a fork. Carlsen of course takes it. Magnus takes with the pawn. And now it turns out if the knight retreats to b8, there are several best continuations. Knight to d5, that's the first engine line. And bishop to g6, that's the second engine line. Most likely, Magnus prepared one of these. If you take this pawn, for example here, the knight on c3 also hangs. Oh well. Takes the knight. For example, then okay. Bishop to e3, just leaving the bishop en prize. We leave the bishop under attack. We threaten to go to g3 and deliver mate. In short, the attack is absolutely brutal. This attack is serious. You can't move the knight from here. Nihal Sarin understands all this. He simply plays bishop to e7. A little attack on Mamacita the queen. Still, the knight is extra. Well, not extra anymore, takes. Left defenders on the king side. But that won't stop Carlsen. Now to finish the job. He absolutely tears him apart. I would call this video now g3 follows. Pinning the g-pawns. Threatens to take the pawn on a6. King prophylactically moves away. And knight to d5. You have to throw it in. You have to sacrifice a pawn to open the diagonal for the light squared bishop. Takes here with the bishop takes. If you take like this now, queen to g6, no defense against mate. Or heavy material losses. Even up to queen to f5 the computer shows. So you cannot take the pawn on d5. After taking on d5, Sarin doesn't retreat the knight, but simply plays e4 to exchange this annoying bishop. The attacking nuisance takes. Open lines, possibility to double rooks. Attack here, and also the bishop can join the attack from somewhere from a3. So black's position now is in big trouble. Otherwise you'll get smashed. Rook to a8 all good, and rook to e6. Magnus inserts it, blocks the queen, threatens a move the steamroller. Sarin defends his bishop. Queen to g6. Magnus goes in. Now bishop to c3, then queen to g6, and later on the games, bishop to f8, carefully retreats, still defending, moves again goes, king to g8. Prophylactically, the daddy moves his king. Also queen to b5 goes, queen to e4 good. With a flick of the hand, Magnus wants to simply play c4, chase away this stinky queen, and win in the endgames. Rook to c7, to prevent c4. Rook to e8 inserts, queen to c4, time to trade. With this move, Nihal Sarin lets the game slip away. It would have been better to simply play rook to f7 and settle down. But queen to c4 is played in the game, check goes. You can't move away. Because the bishop is lost, you have to defend with this rook. The pawn could have escaped. After queen to d6, the pawn could have run away like this, because there's still a pin on c2. Taking is not scary. If you take on c2, we just add bishop to b4. On f8 takes, and then you just play queen to f5. Everything can get traded off here, like that. And Carlsen, the daddy, marches forward. An extra pawn. This pawn will distract the king, and here we'll go and take. So you have to block with the rook in this position. Rook to c8. Attack on the queens. Defense of the pawn on c2. Queen goes here. Here you can give check. If not for the bishop. Rook to c7. Using the pin. Queen to f5. Must trade takes. The queen isn't going anywhere. When it goes here goes takes check traded. How cunningly Magnus drags the enemy king. Instead of taking here, the king would have come closer. Magnus completely outplayed him. First here gave check, queen blocked, and the king lost a whole tempo. In short, that's masterful. That's how a pro does it. h5. King here. King moves. The fight continues in the endgame. For pawns, for pieces we add. Must play c4. Must play g5. Must play c4. Must bring the king to d4, play c5. Exchange these pawns, bishops. Push your pawn. Attack the pawn on b6. All good here. Magnus makes a few more prophylactic moves, traps this mister in a trade, and after king to d4, Nihal Sarin resigned. If you move the king d5, c5 takes, and it goes here mamacita. A new queen appears, vote g6, g5. Doesn't matter. Takes another queen here. You can promote. So that's the game, folks. Like, subscribe. See you next time. Click on the playlist of Magnus Carlsen's games.